Hi, my name is Susan. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to be talking about UFOs and aliens, but I don't like to call them aliens. I want to call them interdimensionals because that's more politically correct. Let's just go with that. So UFOs is unidentified flying objects, and I've had many experiences with these UFOs. I don't know if you have, but I definitely have ever since I was little. But I'm going to be talking about one story in particular. And this happened in Brooklyn, New York in the year 2008, I believe. I was out in the field in a park. My boyfriend at the time liked to play softball, so I was watching the game and I was with his cousin, and all of a sudden, I see a UFO, which turned into many UFOs, and then back to one, and then disappeared. But this particular day, it was very cloudy, and so it was a little bit hard to tell that I was actually looking at a UFO. So I stared at it for quite a while, and it was just hovering above us, quite far actually. And I spoke to my boyfriend's cousin at the time, and I said, "Look, there's like a UFO right here." And he was like, "No, those are kites." I'm like, "Dude, come on. They're not kites. Kites do not hover that way, and they don't look that way, and they don't do what it's doing right now," which at that point it was like separating. And what it did, it actually created like a triangle. It separated like this. I don't know if that's like making sense, but that's what it did. I think it was 7 of them. So from one, it became 7, and then back to one eventually. And it happened in a matter of minutes, as far as I can tell. At the time, I had a flip phone, so I tried to take a picture, and obviously that didn't work. And what I came to find out is that because we're dealing with frequencies and we're dealing with interdimensionals. So what happens is that when our frequency meets their frequency in a way, that's when we're able to see them. That's when we're able to spot them because they're actually always there. We're not vibrating at that frequency, and that's why we can't see them on a regular basis. But if our frequency goes up to the level that they're at, then we're able to see them. Just like you can see me now, because you're vibrating at my energetic level. That's how everything works. Everything's an energetic match if you're coming into contact with that thing. And I don't want to go into a rant. I just want to keep this simple. And so that's what happened. Come to know that at that same moment, I mean, years later, when I spoke to my best friend, I was telling her about this experience that I had in Brooklyn, and she lived in Staten Island at the time, and she said that she had the same experience at that exact moment in time. But I was in Brooklyn, she was in Staten Island at the time. And it was really interesting because the way we were able to tell that it was the same thing was because I mentioned it was a cloudy day. And she was like, "Yes, that's right. It was a cloudy day." And so, yeah, these certain things that kind of show up are kind of like clues because you're going to like use them later when you're talking to someone, sort of like a validation that you need later on, perhaps. So that's probably why I saw it on a cloudy day and she saw it on a cloudy day. And it's pretty much about like our self-mastery and like really understanding our emotional self, our mental self, our spiritual self, and finally our physical self. But these everything deals with self-mastery. So even UFOs, they deal with self-mastery. Even interdimensionals, they deal with self-mastery because it's all about the self. It's all about realizing the self-actualization, as Maslow put it. So I want to leave you with that. If you want to know more information about that story, you can ask me and I'll answer. But what I can say is that it was a really interesting moment in time. And at that time, I was kind of trying to prove it to my boyfriend's cousin that it wasn't a kite, and that what I was seeing was actually a UFO. Because in that part of my journey, I was trying to prove a point. Whereas now I really don't care if I prove a point. I'm just being honest and authentic as best as I can. And whoever likes it, and whoever doesn't, it's okay too, you know. So thank you so much for watching, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.